The oceans cover 70% of the Earth's surface, and they hold about 20,000 different species of fish. Cartilaginous fish make up about 370 of those species. The first cartilaginous fish, also called chondrichthyes, appeared nearly 450 million years ago. What makes them unique is that their whole skeleton is composed of cartilage, which is a type of connective tissue that is less rigid than bone. Though their whole body is made of cartilage, specific parts of their body are calcified, particularly their teeth and their parts of their vertebrae. Chondrichthyes are made up of two clades, elasmobranchi, which are made up of sharks and rays, and holocephali, which are made up of skates. Both of these clades were established well before the dinosaurs and have had very little change in the past 100 million years. With the extinction of the dinosaurs, these animals were able to grow and move to the top of the food chain very easily. In cartilaginous fish, there are no real bones found in their skeleton. In some parts of their skeleton, such as teeth and vertebrae, it is calcified. Since there is a lack of bone marrow doesn't exist either. So to produce red blood cells, the spleen and specific gonad tissues help take on this important process. Fin variety is also vital for these animals. In all chondrichthyes, there is a caudal fin, 1 to 2 dorsal fins, and an anal fin. These fins are important in keeping the animal in one place, as well as propelling it forward. The pelvic and pectoral fins are important because these fins are the controlling units which help the animal swim. Pectoral fins are located right behind the gills and are needed for directing the animal in the upward direction. They function like airplane wings, but they are more flexible. Pelvic fins allow for subtle modifications of the fish's hydrodynamic balance at the posterior part of the body. Other physical attributes of cartilaginous fish are their lack of ribs as well as swim bladders. Without ribs, it makes the species more flexible but incapable of supporting its own weight outside of water. But it does not prevent them from breaching the water to catch their prey. Between the sharks and rays, they are considered apex predators. If they are bottom dwellers, they eat shrimp, oysters, and mollusks. If they are free swimming, they can have a variety of fish and other marine organisms. Respiration in chondrichthyes can occur in different ways, such as ram ventilation or buccal pumping. In ram ventilation, the fish needs to be constantly moving to capture water in their mouth while swimming and to push it out through their gills. However, not many species of shark rely on this type of respiration solely. Some species do live or sit on the ocean floor. They end up breathing through either their buccal pump or spiracles. Buccal pumping is a form of ram ventilation. However, instead of the shark moving, it is gulping in water and pushing it out through its gills. This technique is not as efficient as ram ventilation, but it gets the job done. Spiracles are another evolutionary development to some sharks and rays. They are essentially nostrils that are above the eyes, which pull in water over the gills. This benefits bottom dwellers because it prevents them from taking in sand when they are breathing. Reproduction varies greatly among sharks and rays. Unlike bony fishes, chondrichthyes reproduce using internal fertilization. The male uses claspers to grasp the female, and then he releases his sperm to fertilize the female's oocytes through her cloaca. The cloaca is common in both males and females and is used primarily for excretion. In females, it can also be used as a reproduction port. Reproduction can differ among sharks, skates, and rays. Depending on the species of chondrichthyes, they can either be oviparous and lay its eggs outside the mother's body, or viviparous and the young develop within the womb. Gestation for these predators can range from 6 to 22 months. Once gestation is complete, these animals can live from up to 50 to 100 years old. This is much longer than typical fish and is the primary reason why sharks and rays cannot reproduce quickly to regrow their population. Over the past 100 million years, chondrichthyes have developed systems that have allowed them to become the ocean's most feared predators. These systems are what keep shark and rays aware of their surroundings, as well as what its prey is feeling. One of these systems is the lateral line system, which is responsible for helping the shark to detect changes in pressure around its body. It runs from the head all the way to the tail on both flanks of its body. The second system is the electrosensory system. This system is also called the ampullae of Lorenzini. It is seen as a modification of the lateral line in that the ampullae aid in detecting the electrical fields in the water, or more precisely, the difference between the voltage at the skin pore and the voltage at the base of the electroreceptor cells. A positive pore stimulus would decrease the rate of nerve activity coming from the electroreceptor cells, and a negative force stimulus would increase the rate of the nerve activity coming from the electroreceptor cells. These electroreceptors are very sensitive and can pick up on the muscle contractions of animals. One example to show how sensitive they are is when researchers dive to record film under the water, the camera emits a strong electric field, and so when the shark gets close to the camera and bump it, they are not trying to eat it, but rather they are curious about what the object is. Cartilaginous fishes have some of the greatest predators in the ocean, but these animals are more than just a set of teeth. They are intelligent creatures that are vital for the health of the oceans. Their future is anything but certain. Over the past 100 years, the shark population has been decreasing drastically due to overfishing. However, across the globe, 22 shark sanctuaries have been created to protect these vulnerable species. And for the first time, people are being properly educated on the benefits that these majestic organisms have on the marine environment.